wait a second. What about this business? We need a Pro Tools session, right? Yeah. And you think it's just like the information, it's got to end now. You have to know how to set up your Pro Tools session, right? So you guys have Pro Tools 1, we will be in Pro Tools 2 in a couple of weeks, right? But I want to mention here, if we take a look at, I can see a little bit. Zena, do you mind just operating that mouse just for a second? I mean, practically nothing. I might ask you to open a window or something like that. For the moment, can you just minimize these windows? I actually created a session to start. Yeah. But you need to know how to set up a session properly, right? So yeah, let's just minimize those. Now I open this window right here. You guys see there's a Student HD, or System HD, Student HD1, Student HD2. Right. Right? What's going on with that, guys? A system drive only stores the operating system, like Mac OS 10, the applications, Pro Tools, Logic, blah, blah. Your plugins, all of that stuff is stored on the system drive. Guess what isn't stored on the system drive?
Your bounce.
Projects, sessions, right? Student HD1 and Student HD2, those are actually what are called work drives. There are system drives, System HD, and work drives, Student HD1, Student HD2. Again, system drive has the operating system, applications, plugins installed. No projects. And then it's the other way around for the work drives. The work drives have projects, no operating system, no plugin, no application. What's the point, right? Well, if something happens to the system drive, then nothing happens to the projects, and vice versa. And we should always be backing up our projects multiple times. Is everyone good on that? Now you know there are system drives. You should never, ever, ever, at least by default or any serious work off of this system drive, right? Like sometimes, guys, I'm on my laptop, I'm working in Ableton or whatever, that stuff is on my system drive. But commercial sessions and Pro Tools, recording stuff like that, like, no. Never, ever, ever. Always on a dedicated work drive. Cool? Cool. Right. Cool. Having said that, file allocation. This is good. Today, we can at least get through this stuff, and then Monday just really be working on the board. But this is important. Right? I created on Student HD2, I opened up a folder. You guys see right there, it says Student HD2. I know it's going to be tough for some folks, but Student HD2. All right? What's within that? I created a class folder. You know what we're learning about right now? It's called file hierarchy and management. It's organization. And it does matter. Yeah. You can't lose your clients' files. You're done. It's a wrap. You're not hired again. And they're talking crap on you. It's a wrap. It's of the utmost importance that you manage carefully and organize your files and know what's what. Okay? So here's an example of proper file hierarchy. First off, we're working off of a work system. Secondly, within that, there's a class folder that I created for you. Like, is it a 1014? Notice it just says 1014 FT. What is within that? I created individual folders for all of the cohort groups. 14 AM, PM, and evening. Guess what? Every time you work in here, your work should be within that folder. Now, the hierarchy continues. What's in there right now? Well, what we did for drums before Christmas. Okay? And then what I just created that one for practice today. Right? Guess what I should see in there? And you can even do it right now if you don't mind, Ms. Dana. Let's go to 1014 AM again. Click on that, please. And then I'd like you to make a new folder, which, anyone know the quick key for that? Shift Command N. Command N is a new window. Shift Command N is a new folder. Please title it your name. Let's see. And guess what? All of you, the first time you work in here, you should do the same exact thing. Right? Conley, I don't know why I'm brain farting. What's the last name again? Dave. Conley Daves. I should say Conley Daves. Every one of you guys. Kendrick, Major, whatever. Terry. I want to see work drive, class folder, individual class folder, individual student folders. How you organize your files within there, that's up to you. But I suggest you stay organized as well. Okay? I don't want to see, Major's folder on the system drive. I don't want to see it in the 0814 folder. I don't want to see it in the 1014 evening folder. It should be there. No exceptions. That's, again, organization, file hierarchy, and management. And it matters. Cool? Student HD2, 1014 AM, your folder, your stuff with it. Awesome. Let's go ahead and open up. We can go ahead and now open up again those Pro Tools windows.
Now, those are just working through our Pro Tools projects, or are you just saying
for anything? Oh, by the way, that's the same for every room here. Doesn't matter where you go. Look for the work drive, class folder. Some of them, they're not organized as like, it should just be down here. Or maybe it's on the bottom on this one. I thought it was in here. I think it's just like further up, so maybe it's
Oh, that little baby died.
Hey guys, so sometimes it might not be 10:14 and then 10:14 a.m. p.m. whatever. Maybe there's just a 10:14 a.m. 10:14 p.m. blah blah blah. Because either way, you should be using the same approach. Your class folder, your folder, your stuff with it.
Hey,
Yeah.
Can we? Is there any way that we can do that for our laptops? Like use one Mac.
You can, but you're not really, because you can do what's called partitioning a drive.
Okay.
So it can you can make the one drive that says System HP on your laptop. You can actually like virtually split it and have it show up as two images on your desktop that say System drive and Work drive. But guess what? They're still on the same drive. So if one crashes, they make a difference together. You're just partitioning them. If you want a dedicated Work drive for your laptop, then get an external drive. That only works off of that. Okay, so I went ahead and created. I'm not worried about right now. Typically, I'll record these 24-bit, 48K, 24-bit, 96K. Okay? But for today, I think I just set them at like 16-bit, 44.1 for bit depth and sample rate. Because again, what does it matter? We're just running single flow exercises with a simple source. We're actually just going to use my phone. Just place on that phone. All we need for these exercises between now and Tuesday is a source. And I suggest everything we do between now and Tuesday, you just want to do the same. When you first come in, you just got to keep doing the same exact thing. Now, I know some of you are going to try to mix a project your first day, even though you don't know how to operate the board. I see it. Some of you are going to try to record vocals. You get stuck. Like, as I've been doing this for 12 years and 7 years in education, I'm telling you, work with me. You'll get there. It will work. I guarantee it. As long as you put in the effort. Right? So you should come in here and do the same stuff. A phone is a simple source. You can just hit play and loop a track, and that's it. I see, so they want to bring in a mic, and I'm like, well, every time you want to check something, you're like, oh, cool, check. You got a mic in your hand the whole time instead of just focusing on the board. Just use a simple phone as a source. I'll show you the patch, guys, on Monday, and just play it and done. Set it and forget it. All you need is signal to do these exercises. Doesn't matter if it comes from a mic, a bass, a keyboard. Doesn't matter. Okay. Right? So now that Pro Tools is in good shape, and I'm going to share a couple more things on Monday, but again, what's the first thing we do every time we work?
Level set.
Master the unit.
Well, after you.
Master section setup.
Okay.
Master section setup. All right, Daniel, you're right up front, right in that driver's seat, right by it. You mind walking us through it, please? What is the acronym first, everyone?
SCAT.
So it's SSSCAT. First S is for
Solo master fader.
Oh, master fader and unity.
Stereo
master fader
unity gain. There it is. We've talked about this. Next is
Solo
level to unity
gain.
So you know what? I'm gonna get my laser pointer. You guys do it. I told you. You can figure it out. I broke down the master section. I'm giving you the acronym. Sorry, guys. So you do it, and I'll be back in like 10 seconds. I'm gonna see if you did it right.
Control room. We don't have studio phones. I mean, Ops Masters the unity. Select source. Phones and mix V7.
So guys, as we continue in here, again, the next 2 days, we're going to keep going through processes. So again, this is the stuff that you need to... Right. You're going to need to take notes and make a list of all these processes that you need to do. So the first thing you need to do when you work on it, and even for your skills test, is set up the master section. Check.
Okay.
SCAT.
So it's stereo master, not
Stereo
Well, it's
master.
a stereo master fader to unity gain is what the first S stands for. Okay, did we make it through or no?
Yes.
Okay, so let's run through it. So it was S, stereo master fader to unity gain. There it is. Nothing to it. All right, stereo master fader to unity gain. Okay. Second S was
Solo unity.
Solo level to unity gain. There it is. Up at unity gain. Third S was
Select source.
yeah, as I have it, switching bank source select. All right, and we always choose left right, and we always
Hard pan.
Assign
no
to left,
panning
right.
and stereo box.
Assign to left,
Assign mix B to left right and turn the level up to where? To
Unity
there?
gain.
No, to
Oh, to
unity
nine.
gain. That's
Yeah,
it. Okay. What's next? SSS.
Control room.
C.
C is
Scat.
control
Yeah,
room.
control
Control
room.
room level
Control room up,
to
right?
9 o'clock or unity.
So I would, the rule of thumb is kind of just stay on the lower side. It doesn't, I often say 9 o'clock-ish, but I wouldn't go past about 12. All right? Just easy to turn it up later than turn it down.
Yeah.
The speakers or somebody's here. Okay, so that was SSSC. A is for
Aux, turn all the
We got
all
that, so we've only got a couple. So
all the
all
maxes
masters
to
0,
Unity,
5, and 6. Up
all
to
6 to
Unity
Unity
game.
game.
Right? And then T is for
Talk back.
Talk back level. And that's
Talk
good.
back level.
Same thing. I would say initially just somewhere between 9 and 12 o'clock, maybe at max. It's always better to start on the low side and turn it up if necessary. So
Okay.
that is it. That is the first process you will need to do. I cannot tell you enough, guys. I'm literally spelling out every single process, every single step. You just need to pay attention and take some good notes, and you'll be able to come in and do it on your own. But if you don't do either of those, you're going to be in trouble. Right? So that was it. First process. Setting up the master section, SSSCAT. That one's already check.
Check.
Right? The second process that you need to do.
Level check. Level set.
What do you need to do so you can level set a signal?
Need a source.
You need a source. So the second thing you need to do, second process of
Select
like
your
15
source.
or something like that, I'm going to go through with you guys, is to input signal properly to the console. This one's really easy, but again, I'm breaking everything down. Right? Why am I saying input signal properly to the console? Because we know that certain sources go into certain inputs, and other sources go into other inputs. So, what would go into a microphone input? The output of a
Mic or
the
DI
output
box.
of a DI. Good. Right? This is sinking it. Right? What if I had a guitar? Do I plug that into a mic in or a line in?
Guitars only go to a DI box or
Either
an
the amp,
or
and I put a mic in front of it,
or a DI
or I
box.
plug it into the DI box, and the output of the DI box goes into a
Mic
Mic
in.
in.
Very good. And what about basically everything else?
Line.
Everything else, basically everything else is a line level source, such as an electronic keyboard, a drum machine, a DJ mixer, the output of an effects device, the output of a multi-track, CD player, media player of any kind. All of those go on. So that one's so easy. Yeah, just breaking it down. So second process of numerous is inputting signal to the console properly. Depending on the source. Okay? Don't see too many people writing or typing. But hey, I'm doing my part.
The source is the phone, so
Right? So in this case, we are going to use my phone as a source. What did I used to always use as a simple source? That 2-track master recorder that was also a CD player used to sit right here. And that was easier. I just patch out a CD out with a 2-line in. Right? So I don't have that option. I'm going to have to use, and I've talked about this game a bunch, right? You can use it to get either a laptop or a media player into that external input. Guess what? I'm going to use it to get into the
1/8
line.
quarter.
Right? So it's RCA, 1/8 inch to dual RCA, but ultimately quarter. Because of a 1/4 inch, RCA to 1/4 inch.
Definitely.
Right? So now you guys remember that rack panel thing I was talking about?
Yes.
All right. So this is what I mean, guys. Output of my phone. You guys see right down here it says Control Room 9 panel, and you see Control Room 9 console line in 29, 30, 31, and 32. Right? So I'm just going to use the first two of those, 29 and 30. So I'll take the left side in white of the RCA and plug that into console line in 29, and then the right side with the red output of my phone into console line in 30. Really what's going on here, guys, is when you feed into these, they show up here where it says rack panel 29, 30, 31, and 32. It literally, you plug into here, and the signal comes out of here. And then guess what's underneath it? Console line in 29, 30, 31, and 32. The reality is, guys, this is what I'm going to explain on Monday with normal, half normal, and open patch bays. On a normal or half normal patch bay, there's actually a pre-existing electrical connection from the top row to the input bottom row, which means that this is the one that I want. All right, so 29 and 30. Does everyone first see how everyone gets it? I'm just plugging my phone into these combo jacks down here, 29 and 30 line in, right? So the next step in this signal flow over here is that whenever I plug into here, it comes out of these two jacks that I'm patching out of right now.
Yeah.
It's like this connects to this, where it says rack panel 29 and 30, rack panel 29 and 30, right?
Okay.
So then if I want this to go into channel line in 29 and 30, I can just go right underneath. All right? So now my phone is going into 29 and 30. But the reality is, guess what?
You had to patch.
I don't need these to do it.
Because you have
You can go straight direct in.
No. Everyone stick with me. Okay. Again, what I'll explain more on Monday as we go into patch bays is that normal and half normal patch bays, the most common, they have an existing electrical connection from the output top row to the input bottom row. So the same physical connection that you just saw me do here, like rack panel, exactly. Rack panel 29, meaning that, into console line in 29, that connection that you see there, it's already happening. Where? Underneath, right? And I bet those of you guys that did the reading, maybe you're having a slight connection or initial connection between some of the stuff that was in the reading in relation to patch base, right? Again, guys, all of that is going to help you. It's not a sign for the hell of it. So same thing, 31, I plug into, 30, this input 30 over here, that signal shows up right here, okay? And I could patch out of that and then plug that into console line in 30. But I don't have to because it's already happening, right? Let's prove it. Let me prove it to you, right? So let me just play something on my phone here quick.
You just got to arm the Pro Tools.
Well, we're not even to tools yet, and we're probably not going to have that time, but let's just get in the board. What's going to tell me quickly if there's signal on the board?
The
meter.
The zero
Minus
negative is 20.
LED.
Yeah.
The minus 20 LED, aka I call it the what LED? 2 words.
Overload.
Should it be click to left right mix?
Signal presence.
Hey, should it be click to left right mix already?
No. Okay, so let me just. Hey guys, when we're coming on Monday, we spend a little time in the classroom. We have to do this over.
So we do or don't got class on Monday?
We don't.
Tuesday.
He says Monday.
we have class on Friday too.
Yeah, so it's always Tuesday through Friday. We never make up. All right, now let's look at 29 and 30. Look carefully at the board. Is there something?
Yes.
Yes, there is. Here. So yeah, guys, that minus 20 LED tells me right off the bat that I've got signal going into this channel. So that's a good thing. From the source into the line inputs, and then the signal is showing up on 29 and 32. Now, let's say my source is fine. I know my source works and it's playing out, right? And I know that my cabling and my patching is fine. But I look over there and there are no minus 20 LED lights on. Any guess what the problem might have been in that case?
The signal's not high enough.
Not that it's not assigned to a channel. Not
What's
the
your
You have
faders turned all the way
You
up?
gotta get it. You gotta turn it up so it can reach
selected.
what chooses. So I'm glad to see lots of input there, of course, but I don't think anyone's hit it.
the
All right.
fader.
So guys, there are two main sources that we plug in to get into the channel. What are they? Mic and line in. And what tells the channel which one to see?
Oh.
That's
The
it.
mic line switch. That mic line switch. So on the second please. Right. So guys, where are those mic line switches? Right up here. I showed you this. You just seen it in the manual so far. Remember I talked about the 3-pin female XLR connector. All right, input. Then your mic line switch. Okay. Then your line in. Then your direct out. And then your insert. Right. So this is where the mic line switch is. This is something to be aware of. You want to write down. We're getting out of here in just a couple minutes, guys. The default position for the mic line switch is mic for channels 1 through 24. The default position for the mic line switch is mine for channels 25 through 32. Why? Again, channels 1 through 24, mic line switch defaults to mic. We set it to mic. Right? Channels 25 through 32, we set the mic line switch to line. Why, guys? Because remember, you got 12 tie lines. 12 tie lines, you can bring in 24 mics to feed to these channels. So usually what are we recording in the studio? Microphone. Signal coming in from microphone. So it makes sense, guys. Remember, we have 24 total tie lines, 24 I/O to and from our Pro Tools system, 24.
Yeah.
Right? So it makes sense. So that whenever you finish working here and you do what's called normaling the board, you guys know zeroing out the board, normaling the board, has nothing to do with normal patch base. Sorry, trying to make it up. I'm not trying to confuse you. It's the terminology. All right. So whenever you normal the board, meaning zero it out before leaving, which is every single engineer and student's responsibility to leave that room clean, proper, broken down, ready for the next engineer to work. When you leave, you got to make sure 1 through 24 mic line switch is set to zero. Mic. Well, it's just mic line. Remember, it's normal out, zeroed out, but the zero position for 1 through 24 mic line switch is mic. All right, and then the default when you leave and you normal out the board for 25 to 32 is set to line. Why do we set these to line? Because they're spare channels. We're probably going to use them for effects returns, right, or other line level inputs like I'm doing right now. So, you guys got me on that? Default position for the mic line switch. Channels 1 through 24 is
Mic.
25 through 32
Line.
So if you plan, I know it's time, guys. We'll get out in a second, but just finish this, please. Awesome. So You're excused.
So if that
Okay.
was not pressed down, we would stay.
Hey guys, my source is playing. I know the phone is pumping out a source here proper. That my cable works fine. That I'm patched properly. Like when you're doing it, man, that thing's playing. Why don't I see the minus 20 LEDs on 29 and 30? Because someone forgot to normal the board properly when they walked out.
So it's on mic
And
right
they
now.
did. So it's on mic. And then the
Okay.
moment you, then you get the two minus 20 LEDs. That's it. Okay. Very last thing, guys, and we'll
Where's
go.
the minus LD?
And we're just going to start this over again on Monday.
Okay.
All right, so 29
Okay,
and
I see
30.
him. I see him now.
So right over here, guys. Remember I said that not every single input and output of every single piece of equipment is available on the patch bay? So when you look up here at the I/O, this will prove it to you.
It's over there on the
Look,
channel.
there's only mic ins available for 1 through 24. Look at them, 1 through 24 up. There's just nothing on 25 through 32.
Yeah. Oh.
Which we don't need more than that anyway, remember? 12 tie lines, 12
yeah,
tie
12.
lines, 24 mic ins.
Yeah.
That's it. What about the line ins? On the patch bay, you only saw the line ins for 21 through 32. Guess what? Look at the line ins. Empty.
We don't need them for that because we have mic ins on this side.
Exactly. There's plenty of line inputs and there are plenty of mic inputs. Right? So only 21 through 32 are available as line. You notice there's a small overlap of 4. Right, 1 through 20 just mic. 21 through 24 mic and line. 25 through 32 just line.
Those
It's
would be
amazing
more
what
than
you get
likely.
sometimes when you just stop and look.
Those would be more than likely the ones we'd be switching if in case we needed to use one of these sections for a mic instead of line.
Yeah, exactly. It's just variation.
Yeah, whatever.
That's it. These have the functionality
Oh, no.
of being used as mic or line inputs. Where these are only mic, these are only line.
Yeah.
I told you guys that console option out means direct out 1 through 8.
Yes.
To really hit this home, like that, you need to know. But you also need to know that they're only the first 8 direct outs are wired here at SAE. No more are wired. Here's the proof. If you look at the direct out jack, which is right here, guys. I know it's a little tough. And again, you can anytime when you're in your room, flip this thing open, take a couple minutes to look at it. Direct outs for 1 through 8. You see the jacks, and then look at 9 through 32. That's it. And then inserts. Who remembers how many channels have inserts? 24.
Oh,
42 on the board, but only 24 of the 32 channels have inserts in our configuration. Here they are. Insert point. Start right down here. 1 through 24. Up. Look at 25 through 32. Empty. All right? So all core things that need to be covered. Guys, I appreciate you. You're doing well. We got 4 more days. Again, we're going to do great. It's probably going to be 2 days of exercises, every which way, every single thing, broken down step by step. So again, you just pay attention. You're here present. You care. You put in some effort. You can't lose, right? You are all capable of getting 100 on that skill test. I'm going to prepare you all to get 100 on the skill test. I'll leave it in your hands, right? I'll go home